Hello everybody, my name is Ord and welcome back to the Narrations channel. Breaking the trust in a relationship is truly one of the quickest ways to ruin said relationship. Today we're going to be reading a story about a man who's caught his wife cheating and he's in turmoil. So let's get started. Caught my wife cheating and we're working on it. We also have a 5-year-old son. It all started in June when I found little notes in her pillowcase expressing her love for the man. When confronted, she said it was just a crush and was very apologetic. One of the things that I stated was that she was to break off contact with the man and quit the business group they were in together. Recently I've found out that he barely goes anymore and is actually in danger of losing his membership. My wife had to bring in a replacement and she'll be out of the group early next week. We did couples counseling, but it didn't really work out for us, and we seemed to be doing better. After this incident, I became very nosy and the trust was gone, so I figured out her passcode and went through her phone one night in October and found they had still been meeting up and communicating. Sorry to hear this, OP. Sounds like your wife heard your feelings on the matter and then continued to act to break them anyway. Let's continue. It reads, I'm not entirely blameless in all of this. One of her complaints to me was that she felt like she had to mother me, and I was not helping out around the house as much as I should be, and she was absolutely correct. And I've been working on these things and getting much better, and she has noticed and said as much. My complaints to her were that I felt more like a roommate, and the passion was gone. But her retort was that I was projecting things onto her, and that we've never really been a passionate couple, which is mostly true. OP, be really careful about blaming yourself for someone else's actions. At the end of the day, you both got married and made a commitment to each other. Her going out behind that is nothing to do with your behavior. If she was upset, she should have brought it to you beforehand. Should have brought it to you, period. Not before. This sounds like you've maybe been a little bit gaslit into believing what you've done to cause this. So, let's continue. Up until this point, I had not realized that I was actually being cheated on, and it broke me. We talked it out and decided individual therapy would be the best move because she has a lot of personal trauma from her youth that has gone unaddressed. We decided to work on it, and we've had highs and lows. Things have slowly been getting better, and she's speaking with a therapist, and I'm signed up as well to get counseling, because I have no outlet of anyone to talk to because of the embarrassment, shame, and anger. My trust in her is close to gone, and I fear they may still be communicating. I wonder whenever we have a great weekend or day that it is because she set up plans with him, or they were communicating. She's deleted his number, but I fear Snapchat may be a new form of communication. She's a fantastic mother, and I'm a great dad, and our home life is great, but breaking up our family is a thing I'm truly trying to avoid, but I can't continue playing second fiddle to another man. I also do not have solid proof of any current infidelity. I'm afraid to find it, to be truthful. Because of the whole experience, I've lost 30 pounds, and whenever I've confronted her about it, she's extremely apologetic and says she still loves me, but I'm beginning to believe that she just loves me as a father to our son, and the ship has sailed on us being partners/lovers. This is my first time posting on Reddit, so apologies if it's not the usual type of post, and I'm sure I left out a bunch of information, but I just need an outlet. Willing to bet 90% of the responses to this will be that the marriage is over and he needs to file for divorce, and to be honest, the whole thing terrifies me, especially with a young son in the mix. No one else knows except myself, my wife, her best friend, and the other man, as far as I know. Thanks for reading, and if you have any questions, I'll try to answer. Sounds like a tricky situation. It does seem likely, if she's having like highs and lows, potentially, that she's still in contact. I think maybe your gut feeling might be on point there. Like in the previous one. When they get caught and they learn the methods, cheaters often get a bit more crafty. They learn from their past mistakes. So, let's start the comment chains. Someone's commented, while I would recommend divorce, if you want to save your marriage, blow this secret up, bro. Tell her family, your family, friends, contact the affair partner. Expose this and let the sun disinfect it or kill it. This crap thrives in darkness. Be prepared it may end your marriage, but often exposing affairs to family and friends ends it because it pierces the fog and makes it no fun for either partner. Call her affair partner and straight up tell him man to man he needs to leave your wife alone. Time to cowboy up, dude. Don't play the pick-me game. Pierce the excitement of it for her and make it a regular relationship with all the issues. I don't know about going straight to the affair partner. In a strange way, the affair partner hasn't actually done anything wrong, unless it's like one of your friends, like they have no commitment to you. It's all on your wife, but I completely agree with exposing everything to the sunlight. Completely agree with that. Tricky situation. Someone's replied to this saying, listen to this. One thing I learned is to save your relationship, you must be prepared to burn it to the ground. I didn't know about her affair partner when I got the divorce talk, but in my case, she wasn't advertising them to anyone, and I happened to find out about him a couple months after she moved out. I told her mum, our teenage son, and several of her family members. No one said anything though. They watched how the move affected our son and how she just became a new person to everyone. A year later, I filed, and I've gone almost all no contact. Everyone, thanks to her mum, knows the new boyfriend is an affair partner and no one likes him. My son's friends' parents know, and she's kind of looked down on. She tells people she's happy, but looks visibly miserable and fakes her happiness hard. She occasionally finds reasons, typically something with her son, to contact me and tries to make something a fight, even if it's the result of her choices. She's moved 3 times in 18 months because her and the affair partner are morons and can't plan. The affair partner got her a job at his job, which honestly was genius, as I told her, so he can keep tabs on her and makes it easier to mess with other married women. Listen to this guy. Expose it to everyone. I wish I had done it so much sooner and louder. Instead, my ex-wife took my acceptance of what the situation was as approval. That's actually disgusting behavior. It'll be her justifying it in her head. Disgraceful. Someone else left a comment saying, blow the affair wide open, man. Tell the whole family. Tell the affair partner's wife her husband is cheating. Tell the affair partner to stop contacting your wife. If there is any chance of reconciliation, she needs to face the consequences of her actions and be exposed. Don't keep her affair a secret. If she really cares about you, she'll understand you ripping the band-aid off completely on her affair. That exposing her secret to everyone is the only way you can move forward as a couple. I would agree with that for the most part. I still don't think there's much point contacting the affair partner, but if you think different, please let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear the second opinion on that. Someone else commented, I agree with the others here to air the dirty laundry. Affairs thrive in the dark, and you have to force her to face the ramifications of her continuing it. In the same vein, I suggest having your own hard line about continued contact. Tell her the affair is over. Tell him it's over. There will be zero, and I mean zero contact, if she wants to have a chance at saving your marriage. If you find one little text, 1 ounce of communication from this day forward that isn't immediately reported to you, she can pack up her stuff and get out. Finally, don't try to be better than you are. Your whole foundation on which you base your life, the way you view love and trust, has been destroyed. You're not okay, so don't try to be. Get counseling and find a different couples counselor, preferably one that holds her accountable for what she's done. I agree with this message completely. And if she is genuine about fixing it, then the very clear boundary will do that. I do agree that even one tiny piece of information about them contacting that wasn't brought to you by her, she's done. Someone else commented, so, because you weren't cleaning their house, she decided she wants another man's cock inside of her? Make that make sense. Also, everyone these days is like, oh, it's because I had childhood trauma that I've decided to betray my husband, my vows, and my family. Even if that's the case, do you really want to walk around for the rest of your life with someone who's betrayed you at such a fundamental level? Also, why is it your job to fix what's broken? Let some other schmuck pick up the pieces. Divorce her and co-parent. You deserve much better. Someone replied to the also everybody these days is like, oh, it's because I had childhood trauma. And they said, this is so overused. A person does not cheat because they were abused or whatever. They cheat because they want to, and childhood trauma or whatever is the excuse they give for their poor decisions. Someone replied to that saying, it is very overused, and for a lot of things. I was standing in line to get my son's parking pass at his high school over the summer and started talking with 2 parents, and one lady was an absolute bitch, to put it lightly. The other parent must have known her fairly well and told her to be nice. She gave a half-assed apology and said something about her parents being abusive and yelling at her a lot. That explains why she is the way she is. I gave her a dead stare and said, my stepmother tried to kill me twice in the same weekend, and that's just for starters, but I'm generally nice. The other favorite of mine is, I was blackout drunk and I made a mistake. To which I think, man, I'm a recovering alcoholic that personally kept Jim Beam in the black via my Knob Creek obsession. And I've never been so drunk, even after downing a handle, in my 15 years of heavy drinking, that I accidentally hooked up with someone, even when presented with the opportunity, multiple times. Indeed, indeed. Cheating is generally a conscious decision. Someone else commented saying, she's feeding you BS excuses and got you feeling guilty. Her cheating has no excuse. She wanted the thrill of the fling, if not more, so she engaged in it and is still doing so most likely. It's that simple. She doesn't care about your feelings, really. Otherwise, why imply you are partially responsible and allow you to feel guilty for her actions? Staying together for a kid is not a realistic solution, nor is it why you are staying with your wife. You're staying because you're scared to lose her. You already have, and you're scared to get out there and start over. If you insist on that route, then you have to stop being a doormat. You need to take an active role here. Contact the affair partner and let them know to stay away from your wife. Expose your wife's affair to your friends and family. Let them all know you're working through it together and hope for their love and support. This serves as a real consequence for your wife's actions to hopefully deter her in the future. Plus, you just recruited a lot of eyes who will now speak to you if they see or hear something. I don't think it's worth it, but if I were you and stayed in this relationship, then you have to take charge. Your wife has you running around playing pick-me when it's her that should be in that position. Stop being a nice guy. Interesting take. I agree with the she's got you feeling guilty. OP. It's a tricky situation. Someone else has commented, first of all, you are not to blame for your wife's infidelity. She made a conscious decision to have an affair and break the marriage vow. Your wife is only sorry and remorseful that she's been caught. Now your present marriage is done and over. The question now is whether you are motivated and determined to help yourself. Now I understand that you want to attempt reconciliation. If so, you will need to be resolute and ruthless. Show the side of you the wife has not seen. Your wife will need to prove to you that she is willing to put the work in to establish a new relationship. This will not be easy and may take years. You will also need to determine the degree of trust you can live with. Now, you will need to set boundaries and that she needs to adhere to unconditionally. She needs to go no contact with the affair partner. Absolute must. And must quit her present employment. Second, you need to control the narrative and inform everybody on both sides of the family and friends. This person's using an acronym I'm not familiar with. Contact the affair partner's OBS. Your wife needs to be held accountable for her betrayal. Her communication devices and locations are open and on. She cannot go anywhere without you. Third, she'll need to go to individual counseling and marriage counseling. You will request that she moves into a separate bedroom, and under no circumstances you leave the home. Now, you have to ask yourself whether you want to go through the cycle again, or if it's best to start divorce proceedings. I wish you the best. As much as I understand the message here in this comment, I disagree with it. Effectively, what this person's suggesting is to remove all of her freedoms, and that way she won't have a chance to do it. But that won't actually rebuild the trust, because obviously the second that you try and relax those boundaries, or relax the control, the lack of freedom, either you will feel like all of the insecurities and stuff come straight back, or that she will take advantage of that extra little bit of freedom and do exactly what you're fearing. It would be better, in my opinion, OP, rather than taking this like strict approach, to probably just split. I would say get as much information as you can, talk to a lawyer, a divorce lawyer, and do exactly what they say. Yeah, tricky situation. So, what do you think OP should do? What would you do in OP's shoes? Let me know in the comments. That'll have to do for today. Thank you very much for listening, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.